and we are joined in studio right now by Adam Graves and over the phone by his Stanley Cup winning teammate Mike Richter. Adam and Mike, thanks for joining the show. How you guys doing?
Great,
Fantastic.
absolutely great.
Thanks for having us.
All right, you got it. Let's start with Mike. Mike, how much of a role is Lundqvist on right now? And having been in this position before, how did the Canadians get him to crack? I mean, is there a tried and true way to get a goalie who's standing on his head to crack?
No. I think you have to continue on, and Adam can answer this a bit, but watching this series, I was commenting that the only chance Montreal has, I mean, you say the same things. You get in front of the net. You make his life difficult. If you start interfering and running, then obviously you're going to get into trouble. But you just have to make sure that you get some ugly goals. You saw the first goal that LA scored last night. That wasn't like it was outwitting Crawford. They went to the net and got a funny bounce, and there it is, and you get momentum. So they almost did that the other night. They did have a real lucky bounce in, but Lundqvist is playing phenomenal, and you're going to hit that. I mean, look at Mike Quick and Crawford himself and Price before he was injured. You don't get through the playoffs without hitting hot goalies, particularly in the conference final. They just have to have incredible amounts of patience and discipline to continue on because, Rangers block a lot of shots. They play good Team D, and when you get done that, you have Lundqvist waiting for you. So you have to, if you start changing your game too much, you're in trouble, and I think they already are doing that because they're so frustrated.
And Adam, as a forward, when you've got a goaltender standing on his head, does it creep into your head and maybe try to do too much to score goals?
Actually, it didn't creep into my head at all. I'd look back and see Mike standing on his head, and I loved it. No, just kidding. And I certainly got used to that, and I know certainly what that can do for a team's confidence. And with all due respect, it's great to have you on there, Ricky. Anytime we get together, it's fantastic. But when you're talking about the playoffs, the most important position is the goaltender. And when you have a goaltender playing like Henrik is, it not only does it, I think, embolden your own team and strengthen your own confidence and mindset with every game that you go into, and certainly not only on the defensive side, but on the offensive side too, where you do try to make plays, and you know that if a mistake is made, he's back there. But as an opposing team player, as Ricky said, you have to get that simple mentality going and get traffic in front of the net and get pucks on the ice and up in the top of the net and all over the place and really try to change things up a little bit and not try to get where you're looking at the whites of the goalie's eyes. You're that close that you're thinking about exactly where the shot's going. And play a simpler game. But again, when you have a goaltender playing the way Henrik is, you can try all these things and it still might not work. And that's assuming that you get past Girardi and Stahl and the group that is back there, McDonough. They have a fantastic group that is a core group that's grown up together for the last 4 or 5 years, and they're just coming into their own.
Now, Adam, let me ask you this. You said that goaltending is most important in this series. The Rangers have a goaltender who's playing out of his mind, and the Canadians lost their best player, their goaltender. I cannot envision, and Ranger fans get upset with me, and maybe you will as well, I can't envision the Rangers losing 4 of the next 5 games, so I think that this series is theirs, and we'll start talking about them being in the Stanley Cup Finals in a short while. Can you envision any scenario where the Rangers could lose 4 out of 5?
Well, again, in the mindset of every player, and certainly it's the history of the game, and you see the cliches that you read in the clips every day. But let's not forget how well Montreal played last game. I mean, they came out and played extremely well, and Henrik was up to the task, and the Rangers found key scoring at the right time. So I don't think you can get ahead of yourself. There's too much parity in the game today, and I know that the goaltender that played for Montreal, I can remember watching him play for Spokane in the Memorial Cup. He's won a World Junior. He's won a Calder Cup. This kid's a character kid that's won at every level he's played at. So I think for me, it's focus and stay focused on getting contributions from everyone, playing as a team, and playing the type of Ranger hockey that they've had success with. And they're just starting to hit their stride. We talked about Kreider getting back into the lineup. McDonough starting to hit his stride after the injury. So I think the focus is more on playing the way they need to play, and then just let things flow from there.
Now, Mike, I had mentioned earlier in the show that you don't want to give up 40-plus shots on goal every game if you're the Rangers. But as a goaltender, if you had the choice of facing 40 or 20, I've heard a lot of goaltenders say they'd rather face more. Were you the same way?
Well, you can certainly get into a rhythm when you have a lot of shots, but let's be clear. Good scoring chances are good scoring chances, and whether you're playing against Dominic Hasek when he's hot or Lundqvist, more good scoring chances give you an opportunity to score more goals. I mean, pretty simple equation. And yes, mentally it can be more difficult to stay in the game and have your touch feel and feel sharp as you would if you're not getting a lot of shots. But you have to be careful. As Gravy said, that the Montreal team played really well, and they had a lot of really good quality shots. And this goalie, it wasn't like he lost the game for him. This guy can win. They've got a lot of pride, and they get, it's very dangerous. And as anybody can tell you, played the last games, the closing games are the most difficult ones to do, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're not at a closing game yet, but look, at this level, the teams are so tight, and in the conference finals, nobody's going to give you an inch for free, and it is going to be a scrap every step of the way. So these games are interesting. Last night it looked like Chicago was about to run away with the game, and my gosh, 6 goals later, they're on the losing end. So, players don't even want to hear that question. They say, what do I have to do this first shift? And so I think I've got away from the original question a little bit, but no, this is going to be a battle every step of the way.
Talking with Mike Richter over the phone and Adam Graves in the studio with Donnie. Mike, can you take us through what it's like right now for Lundqvist? We use terms like standing on his head, playing so well. When a goalie is in that zone, does it seem like it's in slow motion? Does it seem like the puck is a beach ball? What's it like?
Yeah, I always felt like I was ready for the shot a little bit before it came, where you're not surprised by anything. And let's be clear, though. He's been playing really tremendous hockey from the time he stepped onto his first game at Madison Square, and he's continued to improve. He's a really hard-working guy. And so it's not like this isn't a surprise necessarily, but I do think he's brought his game up to another level, which you have to do, as the team has done. And if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to ratchet it up each round. And Henrik has, and he's played best when they need it most, which is a real mark of a champion. But I think the biggest thing is he's just consistent. It's not like he's had one game where he saves 40 shots and gets a shutout, and then he's kind of non-existent for a game or two. He's back there every night giving you a chance. And you saw, again, last night what Mike Quick did. They were getting out-chanced and outshot, and somehow that game remained in reach through the second period. And at the end of the second, 1 goal. And now it's a 2-1 game, and all Chicago and the 20,000 people went, uh-oh. Had Quick not played that well, or in a few instances had Lundqvist not been consistent through those periods, when you don't know as a goalie whether you're going to lose 2-0 or you're going to, your team's going to break out. You just got to keep saving the next puck. And he's really, he's physically very, very gifted, but I think mentally he's really sharp, and he just plays that way. It's a great deal of discipline, and that's what you need when the stakes get higher.
Adam, Rangers 4-3 in the postseason at Madison Square Garden. When facing elimination, they're almost unbeatable there, but in other games, they're under 500 at 2-3. Is their game maybe more conducive to play on the road than it is at home?
Well, and Mike would agree with this, that certainly when you have a deciding game, you want it on home ice. And when you look at the Rangers' record this year on the road, I think they set a franchise record as far as road wins. Yeah. And certainly through the first 2 rounds and in this conference final, they played extremely well on the road. But with that being said, in order to be a champion and win, you have to take advantage of that home ice and take advantage of the last change, take advantage of the energy of the Garden. And we haven't seen the Rangers on Garden ice for 3 games now. So there's a lot of energy in this city. There's a lot of Ranger fans. There's a lot of people that are focused on this game that can't wait for that puck to be dropped. And I think that the Rangers as an organization and certainly as players want to take advantage of that momentum, be ready when the puck drops. And again, we've all benefited, anyone that's been fortunate enough to wear a Ranger jersey and be in that building at key times in Ranger history. it really can make a difference, and I think that you're going to see that tonight, and this team will be ready to play, as will Montreal, without question, and they're going to have to match that and surpass it and be ready to go, and again, take advantage of home ice, because it's historically it's always been the place for teams to take advantage, and you look at, for argument's sake, Chicago. That was the first loss they've had in the playoffs. That's an experienced team that's won a couple cups in the last 3 years, so they understand the importance of home ice. And as you evolve as a team, and the Rangers in the last 3 years have been the conference final, this is the second time, so they're evolving and maturing, and they understand the importance of home ice.
All right, final thing to Mike. Mike, could you have envisioned that the Rangers would be this close to going to the finals when they were down 3-1 to a very good Pittsburgh team?
Well, boy, you've seen it in all these rounds where no one seems to be dead until that fourth game is the final whistle, or the fourth wind, the final whistle. Like I said, there's a lot of parity in the league and plenty of pride in this game where no one's going to say, boy, you guys are up 2 games or 3 games or 1 game, and I guess this isn't our year. We're going to go away quietly. I mean, a lot of 7th games this year, and scratching and clawing to get every inch. So that did not look good for the Rangers. There's no two ways about it. I mean, I'm a bit of a homer, and I picked them to go all the way this year. They have depth, and I love their goaltending, and they seem to get better and better. But, when you're looking at 3-1 down, even with the momentum that they generated in that 5-1 game, you still have to go out and win, 2 more games before the other guys can win 1. I mean, that's a real tough order, and that's not an easy team they're playing, and no one's going to roll over. So the answer is no. I mean, there's a reason that the stats are so stacked against you when you're down 3-1. I can't remember how many times, Adam, you might know, but teams have actually come back from 3-1. It's very difficult, and these guys have hit their stride. And I tell you this, you don't want to be in that position, period. But if you are in that position, you come back from it, look out. Because that's a team that's been close to death and you haven't been able to kill, and they're going to be kind of battle ready for anything.
Now, we have to ask Adam, tell us about Rangerstown, because I know that you're heading there right now.
Well, certainly we've talked about it through the first and second round, and it's a place for die-hard Ranger fans or the casual fan to come down. There's a lot of interactive events going on, different contests, ticket giveaways. If you are any kind of hockey fan at all, and certainly when you're in the tri-state area, that means a Ranger fan, you've got to come down there and enjoy it. It's a celebration of hockey, a celebration of playing in May, and a celebration of this current Ranger team and all that they represent.
Is this run bringing both of you guys back 20 years? Do you feel like it's 1994 again?
Ricky, go ahead.
Yeah, you can't help it. I mean, we're all fans and just love to watch that run. And every game, there's no time that you can look at that. I run a little hockey pool in my house every year, and I'm pretty much out of 5 people the last one. It's very difficult to predict, and these games are so compelling because the teams are so close. But it's the run that's so much fun, and the tighter the games are and the harder the series are, and the Rangers have already had a couple tough ones. It makes it much more enjoyable to watch as a fan, but really as a player, that's what I remember from our run. There was the double overtime games, the 7 games, where you really kind of have to grit it out. And so, yes, it does remind us of that. And no better place. There's no bad place to win a Stanley Cup, but no better place than New York.
Good stuff, guys. Mike Richter over the phone. Adam Graves came into the studio. Remember Rangerstown? You can see that right outside Madison Square Garden. He's heading there right now. Adam and Mike, we thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Great to talk to you. And Adam, fun to be on with you.
Always great, Ricky, and thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.